Alabama at Missouri. Noon Eastern kickoff. Got a SEC matchup, two ranked teams. Interesting situation here for the Crimson Tide. All right, and the reason I say that is it comes from a mental standpoint. You beat Georgia on the road. Heck of a win, but it felt like a back against the wall kind of moment. It felt like a game you almost had to win. You get it done. It's easy to mentally prepare for that, right? It was really Alabama's first chance to kind of prove after that Florida State embarrassment, hey, we're not that team from week one. We've gotten better. We have the talent. There's reasons that people had us in their top 5, top 3, if not number 1 coming into the preseason. No shade to Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin is just not good. Like that win really didn't move anybody, at least not me. So it felt like the Georgia game was a must win. They get that one done. They turn around the very next week. You have Vanderbilt. There was no way they were sleepwalking into this one, especially not after last year. They didn't. First half was very competitive. I don't want to say slow because credit to Vanderbilt and Clark Lee and what he's doing there in Nashville. But the second half was dominant. That was what needed to happen. It was a great win in Tuscaloosa. Now you got to do it for a third straight week. So far under DeBoer's tenure, it's still a young tenure, but it's felt like really a 1 step forward, 2 step backward kind of a situation that's been happening. This is now a chance you've taken 2 steps forward, 2 big wins in a row. Now you got yourself another one. This time you're going on the road again to Missouri, Columbia, against Eli Drinkwitz and a team that has looked very good thus far. So what does Alabama have to do to win this football game and stay mentally in that same mindset? I don't think Alabama's going to roll into this game asleep. I think they'll be ready to play. They know Missouri's a very good football team. Typically, your brain would condition you to find more fear in having to play Missouri on the road than Vanderbilt at home or on the road, right? Things have, of course, changed drastically in college football in the SEC, especially for Vanderbilt now. They're not what they once were. But talking about this one, Alabama and Ty Simpson, really, and Ryan Grubb, offensive coordinator there, have started to find a lot of chemistry. This offense has looked a whole lot better. It's starting to find its rhythm. Both Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams are going to be huge. Get the ball in their hands. Let them do their thing. This is a Missouri defense that has been a little bit up and down this year. I think there's been some inconsistencies in the secondary for me that I think Alabama can absolutely target and they can beat. And secondly to that is get Jam Miller the football. If Alabama can establish a run game, which they've really yet to prove so far this year, the run game for Alabama hasn't been to the standard or level that I think it can be. So if this is the game where it can start to flourish a little bit more, they can move the line of scrimmage, they can get bigger and physical in the trenches, and Jam Miller can find himself some gaps and some success. I think that takes the pressure off of Ty Simpson on the road. It calms you down. It sustains those 13, 14, 15 play drives that really just humiliate a team, right? It kills clock. It wears a defense out. Then you flip over to Alabama's defense. Tons of talent. I think Kane Womack has finally settled in. This defense has played a lot more discipline. The biggest thing is they played with more hustle. That's what really lacked in that week 1 game was just awareness, hustle, understanding. The biggest thing they have to be careful of is Bo Perbula's legs. All right, that's something they're going to have to be disciplined with. Kevin Coleman and Ahmad Hardy have both been great for Missouri this year. Plenty of weapons for the Tigers. All right, plenty of weapons, but you cannot forget Bo Perbula and the threat that he poses. Alabama struggled mightily against Florida State because of Castellanos' legs, right? The pre-snap motions, the RPOs, the read options, those things hurt them. I thought they did a great job bottling Diego Pavia up last week, so they have to replicate that same performance this week. Let's talk about Missouri. At home is going to be the biggest thing, all right? It's not a night game, but it's still going to be a great environment there in Missouri. They're going to have to use that and take all that energy. What we just mentioned for Alabama, what they have to stop is what Missouri needs to lean on. They need Bo Perbula's athleticism and his legs to be a factor. Off-script plays are going to be huge for me, all right? This is an Alabama defense that's going to come. They're physical, but they're aggressive. Kane Womack is an aggressive defensive coordinator. So if Bo Perbula can find ways to avoid the blitz, whether they're able to shift the pass pro, pre-snap communication is going to be big. It's at home, so you have that advantage. You're able to hear, you're able to communicate, but he's got to do a good job of creating plays that may fall off the script. If he can use his legs, get outside the pocket, run the football, whether it's designed or not, he has to be effective. Give Ahmad Hardy the football, right? It's that simple. This is a guy that has 103 carries on the season, continued to give him the rock. He's been unbelievable this year. Over 700 yards rushing already, on pace for an incredible season, already having one. Continue to feed him the rock. If you can get some movement on that line of scrimmage, that's going to be big. But Bo Perbula's threat opens up the run game just a little bit more. If you add in a lot of those zone reads, any kind of read options, that gives you at least a little bit of a delay from those Alabama linebackers. They can't quite play as aggressive as they want to when it comes to the run game. So that's big. As for Missouri's defense, you got to be tough in the secondary. All right, you got to find some consistency back there, depending on whether you play a cover 2 or a cover 3 and choose to not let Alabama kill you deep. You got to get some pressure on Ty Simpson. He's starting to get more comfortable in the pocket. He's starting to find his open guys. He's really getting the ball out quick is the big thing. So you have to tackle an open space. You got to get Ryan Williams down. You cannot get caught being over aggressive or sleeping in that secondary, or Alabama will absolutely punish you. All right, friends. So let's talk about the line, because I think this is an interesting line. Of some of the other lines around the country this week in some big-time games, this one is probably the closest that surprises me. It's only 3.5 favor towards Alabama. This is a good Missouri team. This is a must-win game for Missouri. And the reason I say that is because when you look at Missouri's schedule and you kind of set it side by side to some other SEC team schedules, like the gauntlet that South Carolina has, the schedule that Florida's played, it doesn't really match up. This is one of those big games where it would be a huge resume booster for the Tigers if they can get this thing done. Whereas Alabama has enough to prove no matter what they play with the schedule they have. So it's an interesting line. Missouri at home obviously helps them a ton, but I think it's a little bit disrespectful towards Alabama. I think Missouri fans may disagree, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm taking Alabama to win this game. I think that the Tide have finally hit their stride. I think the momentum is there. This is the team that I think Kalen DeBoer has known that he's had since he really got to Tuscaloosa. I think we're going to see a performance that's inspired. I think we're going to see confidence. That's what this team has lacked. There's been really no confidence within their identity that, hey, we are Alabama. We have the talent to do it. And Missouri, Vanderbilt, some of these teams, we should not be scared of these teams, nor should we be losing these games. And I think Alabama bottles that up. They use that energy. I think the confidence from really the Georgia game that they then carried into the Vanderbilt game continues to carry. I think they stay hitting their stride. I think they grow. That offense will have some success. I think Kane Womack's defense will continue to play more disciplined, inspired football. And I like the Tide in this game on the road. I think they win it. I think they cover -3.5. I do think Missouri's going to give them a hard-fought game. I think Missouri will be in this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any chance. But I like the Crimson Tide carrying that momentum forward and winning this football game. So that's all I got, friends. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Do me a favor, if you liked the video, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thank you.